What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Crushing Small Stakes PLO. We are playing 25-50 cent here on Ignition, and a pretty hand to start off with here, double suited queens. We will raise it up against this guy who has 100% VPIP so far. And not the best flop. Especially when we have both of the other suits who make it quite likely that he has a spade. I am going to basically bet my range in position here when check 2 on flush boards as an exploit against the population, just because they are under defending by a vast majority of the time. Obviously that is not really a GTOC bet. And we're gonna call here with this quite loose player in the pot. And likely just check fold. We'd like to get a check through. We have some turns that we can bluff at. It will be obviously raising up the aces and pot size bet into 3 people from a kind of weak passive player. Not going to be something that I mess with. We can check call here. We have turns that we can bluff for sure. I mean, against this stack size though, it's a little bit tough. I don't think we have enough equity to stack off, and we also really do not have too much value in our ace of spades blocker here, so we have to just fold, unfortunately. Could probably peel that if we were deeper. Obviously we 3-bet here and we get it in against, oh, drawing dead on the flop, basically. Not running too hot today, guys, so be prepared for that. What a dream flop. The wrap and flush draw. Love it. I am going to stab at this flop. Plenty of turns that we can double barrel on. That probably one of them. We can get some weak ace-x hands to fold that floor at the flop. Here we're just going to check back with plenty of equity. So I am going to pot this turn. And after 2 checks here, I'm going to take a small stab at the pot. We can definitely get called by an 8, weaker flushes. Maybe a straight. Very unlikely. Queen's it's a close one with the king high suit, but the deuce dangler, I think they're just too weak to open from MP, probably from the cuff. And guys, make sure you check out PLOpokercoaching.com if you want some more content. We have plenty of blogs on there going through detailed poker concepts, and we also offer a 30-minute evaluation of your game, a free evaluation. So if you'd like to book that, head on over to our site and reach out to us. We will be more than happy to arrange that. So we flop a pair, gut shot, nut flush draw. This is going to be generally just a very high frequency check. And now we turn 2 pair. And I think we now can bet as we can. Oh, he leads out. I kind of want to overcall this. just to play against the button. See if we can spike a hand. It's pretty good. I'm just gonna call here. We have nutted, pretty nutted out. And we want to keep this guy in the pot. Didn't see too many raises from him, and we do river the second third nut. Probably check raising top left, and definitely good enough to raise against a button open here with king, queen, queen, 7. I almost just called over here, so make sure you're paying attention. And on this board, I think we have a relatively high checking frequency. Here he leads out pot. I do kind of want to raise. It's just really dicey when this guy's been playing so passive and he goes for a pot size, but I think I'm just going to give this one up. Anyway. Didn't realize this guy was so short. And we do hold. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't paying attention to the stack size, but at that SPR, this stack size is obviously no reason to check that. We should have just open jammed the flop. And a limp pot facing 2 checks. I am pretty much just going to bet my range against this type of player. People just do not fight enough for small pots. Our position clearly show no interest. You can likely bet full range profitably there, and the only sizing I'm really using in those limp pots is going to be a pot size bet. Hopefully the lag isn't too bad for you guys. Ignition seems to be having some problems on their end. And on this flop with a pair blocker and 2 backdoor flush draws, I think we are good enough to go ahead and bet. Pretty disconnected board. Get some queen X hands along, and we can also call a raise. This hand is very marginal, but this guy's an 82% VPIP, so it is something that I want to try and ISO on the button. And here, not going to be too active in this pot. Here we flop pot pair, and I think we just have enough blockers to bet at this board. I think we get quite a decent amount of folds here. Obviously this hand is not going to play very well on most turns. And when he snap checks, I do kind of want to bet. This would never really be a bet. It just really feels like a flush draw, maybe pair and a flush draw. So I may actually call down on a deuce if he does decide to bet. Yeah. I am going to squeeze this hand. This guy's a little loose on the open raising side. These guys very loose on the calling side. Unfortunately, we get called in the first position. Thought it was probably going to go 4-way, but we shall see. Only 3-way. And this is a board that I will be range c-betting. I think we can bet a third here. Usually I would probably go half pop. This guy's pretty short, and given how dry the board is, it shouldn't interact too well with their ranges, and we block kind of all of the overpairs. This guy with a 94% VPIP, yeah, so he has a 4 or a straight draw or something, which we obviously have to fold to, and is why we kind of went with the smaller sizing. Again, I do want to ISO this player, but this may be a little bit loose. But let's get loose. These players aren't too out of line, out behind. They look pretty reggish, so they'll probably have reasonable cold calling frequencies until I start getting really out of line with my ISOing against this player. Just going to be stabbing here. I mean, I expect him to fold pretty much everything, apart from a king, deuce, and diamond, and just snap folds. He's going to have such wide ranges there that I'm going to be betting any sort of blocker interaction with the board. I'm gonna raise this up. It's not the best because I expect to. Oh wow. I mean, I never expect to get folds there, which likely means I should never raise. But this is pretty much the best case scenario. And we have not much going on. We do have some blockers. Good shot. Without the club, this guy's folding quite a lot, and I am going to take a stab. But I do expect without a club to get action a reasonable amount of time. Question is, do we want to barrel on the queen? Do block some of the straight draws here. We have top pair open-ended. I think with the backdoor flush draw I'm going to check, and that is a pretty good turn. I'm going to check this back and then bluff rivers like that, and we will be 3-betting this hand. And we will be betting on the top left. Probably could have bet smaller because we're really only hoping to fold out draws at this point. So this goes 3-way. I mean, it's not ideal. SPR of 3, 2 backdoor flush draws. Obviously we block as king. I kind of just want to pot this board. I'm fine getting with this guy a little. Not great if we end up getting all the money in here. We're likely behind to ace king, but that's not great. And yep, it's not a fun turn. Running pretty hot today. It'd be interesting to see whether 3-way. We could have bet smaller, but either way, we're getting snagged in that hand. Check back on the flop. We do block the straight, we do block hearts. I expect them to bet most flush draws. In a limped pot, we do take it down. And we'll just fold the ace king in the small blind. We'll open this on the button. Probably not good enough to call. Depending on this player, because these guys are... it's only one hand, I guess. It's a very kind of loose overcall. But I do want to play in position against these guys, and I'm hoping that both of these fold. And then it's not a terrible three-way hand. But this is generally not a hand that you should be calling on the button. Without spades, I'm tempted to bet just because our hand doesn't mind bet folding. And this will hit my range pretty hard after I overcall. We'll take a stab. Obviously fold to a raise. We can barrel some turns, some non-spade turns. Get called. It's a pretty nice turn. With the queen blocker, I think... like without spades and with a queen blocker, I think we can bet. It's very thin. Obviously ace king is in this range and he's not folding, but we might get a free river. Actually not a terrible river. Makes it more likely we're at least not beat by full house. Maybe by ace king. You take it down. We will be defending here with the tens top right. Even three-way. And we check folding the flop. Question is, do we want to bet so we can bluff rivers? There's just a lot of... there's not many rivers that we can bluff with the two flush draws out there. So I think that we just kind of hope to get this checked down. I just think that we get called too much on the turn. Against our flop. I think we still fold. Just so many tough rivers to play. And obviously don't have a made hand. So we're gonna mostly rely on bluffing. Unless we catch one of our 8 outs. Here I will go for the c-bet. We're obviously going to be crushing the big blind in terms of overpass. I don't anticipate much. I play back there without a 9, obviously. A small portion of his range given card removal. This is kind of a loose call. Again, with these guys behind, not rebang. And usually works out pretty well when you flop quads and your opponent bets into you. I'm tempted just to raise, to be honest. I mean, now we have the overvote to go with our quads. Like, pretty crazy. In terms of lockdown board, at this point, I mean, he really is repping basically aces. So I think it's just like quite obvious what he has, and I think if I raise, it becomes obvious what I have because I'm never raising like kings. I mean, it's just, is he really going to call a pot size raise here? No. I think that he's either set on calling or folding there. So I think he's pretty inelastic to the actual raise size. Maybe if I min-raised him, but I think in terms of the times we get called when we bet smaller versus the times we get called when we bet larger, I don't think the difference is big enough to go for a small bet. I will limp in here. Complete. Flop top 2. Four-way. I mean, we're checking most of our range. We do have some backup, but it's gonna be a lot of ugly turns. Here we have top pair, not gut shot, and second up flush draw. So we're not folding. It's not the best river. Pick up a flush draw on the turn, so we do want to start building a pot now. Very weird bet size. I mean, I don't think I can fold. There's a lot that missed, but I expect to see ace king here quite often. Yep. And then we do get raised on the turn, which is not ideal. We're obviously calling. And we do river the flush, and we shouldn't really have much of a leading range here. The thing is, what nut flushes does he raise on the turn? I guess he has combo draws. We block the pair and nut flush type hands that he would bet. I mean, it is a limped pot. He would kind of have to have like ace for something of diamonds. I'm just gonna check call. He likely rivered a straight. I'm gonna call here with the nut suit. And check fold. I mean, this probably shouldn't even have been an open. So we'll not compound the error on a board that is very good for the 3-betting range. Again, not a standard play, but to play in position against this player, I think is very valuable. And these guys haven't started punishing me yet, but I'm anticipating it coming soon after I just said that. And no reason to bet this hand. Very weak flush draw, no pair blockers. And we can turn some pretty strong hands, so definitely just a check back. So we do turn gut shot and straight blockers, and the question is this guy gonna fold? Because he never has a straight here. Sorry, like he never has like a strong hand here. But I just think that the board is too dynamic that he's not going to fold for his stack size. So I don't think raising makes sense. It wouldn't be a GTO raise, it would just be a fold, but against a turn half pot size bet on those types of boards, people are generally quite weak. And I guess we limped in here. So we have bottom pair, gut shot, nut gut shot. It's a little too weak. Even in a limp pot. Let me know what stakes you guys want to see as well. I'm thinking about putting in some sessions here on PLO 100 and including that still in the small stakes. I also might put out some videos on my man stakes, so 1-2 and 2-5. Just show like that man grind at those levels. So let me know in the comments below what stakes you guys are playing and what you want to see. We are going to be wrapping up this video shortly. Coming up on the 30-minute mark. So make sure you do subscribe and set your alerts because we will have more content coming out this week. And as I mentioned before, head over to plopokercoaching.com if you are interested in some free poker coaching, a free intro 30-minute session. If you reach out to us, we will get that set up for you. Let's play this last hand, and then we will finish up. Hopefully we get to play against our whale friend here. One thing that is always interesting about Drive Hood, you get these little player icons based on the stats that you set, and when multi-tabling it can make it a little easier to identify the spots of the table. And since it's our last hand, let's juice it up a little bit. Don't expect any folds, even though this guy did tank limp on the button, which is always fun. Some really tough decisions here, obviously, for this guy. Finally makes the call. And we flop pretty big. Are we getting the chips in on our last hand? This is a board that you should pretty much range check after raising, but that assumes that your opponents are gonna stab with like GTO hands, and they're gonna find those bluffs and stabs and bet in position, which I just don't think this type of player is. He's more likely to just call down. So I'm actually going to lead out on this board. We do get the call. Get some aces on the bottom left too. And we get the raise. So obviously, like, we just really want to get it in at this point. However, we do have two nutted draws with a player behind us, and we don't want to shove over the top and make him fold a hand that we're actually dominating. So I am just going to flat here. Obviously, we're not folding any turns to this guy's bet, but we do want to keep this guy in the pot. And with our aces bottom left, it's a very dynamic board. And we do not quite get stacked, but almost get stacked on our last hand. Oh, two aces hands though. I guess let's play both of these. Pretty good turn for our hand. I will be pot size betting this. There's a lot of rivers that we can triple off on, obviously. That being one of them. Doesn't feel like a great spot, but we do unblock all of the pairs, so sets and two pairs. Can definitely find a fold. He's obviously not folding that. Glad we stayed to play these hands, dust off a few extra stacks. Oh, and we didn't auto reload here, so if we win this one, Georgian, you will owe me $10 or whatever it is. We flop. No need to raise here. We block kind of all the draws, giving us playability. Not the greatest turn, but we're obviously not folding at this point. And the river gets kind of worse. Not a hand that we really particularly want to bluff. And he obviously is going to be showing flushes for value here, which we don't block. We're just check calling here. We obviously have a pair blocker, straight draw blocker, and unblock clubs. Nice. So that would be another check fold. Alright, we're gonna wrap this one up. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and make sure you stay tuned for more content, and good luck at the tables out there.